Hey guys, Dave from Wolfhard Hobbying here, and today we're going to finish looking at painting the Rotten Belle. In this video, we only have to really focus on her hair, her parasol or umbrella, this feather on her hat, and the base itself. So it's not going to be a terribly long video for you guys, but just wanted to show you how I'm going to finish this Belle up. So to get us started, we're going to start with her hair, and we're going with a blonde look. So I'm coming in with Everland Sunset for our base color. I'm going with a very exaggerated blonde here as I want it to stand out on the tabletop. If you wanted to go with more of a natural blonde, I would have probably started with more of a brown tone than this kind of bright platinum yellow type idea. But you could also bring this down with an Agrax Earthshade wash. But I'm choosing just to keep it very exaggerated, as with her previous profession, I guess you could say, she probably would have had an exaggerated hair color to stand out. But anyways, just giving it a base coat here, and you want to be very careful up near the hat that you don't get any of this color on the hat, as you don't want to go back and do a lot of cleanup. But she does have quite a bit of hair, so you want to also make sure that you get all of it. Being very mindful close to the shoulder part and her face as well. And again, with these Malifaux models, they've got very small detail on a very small scale. So when we go to highlight this hair, we're not going to be doing any kind of drastic three-tone highlights or anything like that. I think I'm just going to go with this color and then the extreme highlight to go with it. But that's pretty much it for her hair, except for the minimal highlighting we're going to do. So we're now going to work on other parts of the model while we let that first base color dry. That's what's great with these finishing touches, is you can do multiple areas of the model at one time. So the next part, we're going to come in and we're going to start with the base. So we're going to paint up the cork to look kind of like stone or cobblestone. So we're going to start with gray-green. I love this color for rock for some reason. It's a really nice gray, and if you wash it down with a Nuln Oil or a black wash, then it gets really dark, and it's just a great base color for stone. So with the base coating, you got to be very careful of the feet. These Malifaux models, their feet are very, very tiny, and these are the contact points to the base. So I have her feet kind of buried in the cork a bit to give her a bit more strength. But you just want to be careful you don't paint over her feet so she doesn't look like she's coming out of the ground, unless that's the effect you're going for. So as you can see, it's coming together now. This dark gray really makes the pinks and the purples on the model really pop, or at least I find it does. So that's going to be just the base coat. I'm not spending a lot of time on her base, as it is just part of the model. It's more there just to give her a bit more strength. But that's it for the base. I'm going to come in with a couple dry brushes of gray just to lighten it up a bit. So now with her hair dry, we're now going to come in with our only highlight we're going to do. And to jump to an extreme, I'm coming in with Uriel Yellow. Or any kind of bright yellow or mid-tone yellow you want to use. But I'm only picking out certain spots on the hair to highlight. So probably just along the bangs, the tips of the hair, and the higher points of the hair. As you can see here, where her hair is kind of flowing off of her head and down, I'm picking out those parts to accentuate with this yellow. And then going into kind of an overbrush mode, just the tips of the hair here and then along near her face. I do kind of go a little too far, and I put some of this yellow onto her hat by accident. But if you do make a little mistake like that, make sure you wipe it off right away while the paint is still wet. But that's it for her hair. We are completely done her hair. I'm not doing anything else with it. It's got a nice blonde look to it. It's going to really pop on the tabletop. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to start painting the feather on her hat. This is a very small detail here, but we're going to go with a white color. So I'm going to base it in Celestra Gray. If you've seen any videos or read anything about painting white, you kind of want to start with a gray base coat like Celestra Gray and then work your way up. But again, with Malifaux models, I'm going to put my base coat and then I'm going to do one layer of highlight. I'm not going to build this up too much as you're not going to see a lot of those effects on the tabletop. And this goes with almost any miniatures, unless you're getting into larger scale miniatures. But for these and even some 40k stuff in fantasy, I tend not to go too extreme with the highlights. But that's our base coat there. Nothing fantastic or special about that. But what this also allows us to do is we're going to come in with the same Celestra Gray, and I've decided I'm going to do her parasol a white as well, just to break up those pinks and those blacks and everything like that. Just give some brightness to the model and break up some of those dark colors. So I'm done my base coat here, and as you can see, I'm starting to come together really well. There's not a lot left to do on this model. Paint the handle of the parasol, the tip of the umbrella, and then finish up her base. So I'm coming in with Pallid Witch Flesh to just edge highlight the feather, some parts on the parasol, and then I'm just going to paint the handle black. And then we'll get working on her base. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to skip ahead so that we can get to pretty much the final product. So as you can see, I've edge highlighted the raised edges on the parasol, painted the tip and the handle black. I went in with a light gray. It's hard to see on camera just to accentuate the handle of the parasol, but this Belle is pretty much done. Just going to paint the lip of the base. You can do that whatever color you want, but I like painting it back to a black. So this is a very simple step. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, but basically you're just going to paint the entire lip of this base black, and then you can move on, you can finish, but again, any color you want. I chose black because it makes the model stand out on the table, regardless of what kind of mat you have. So skipping kind of ahead here, I'm not going to paint the whole thing, but I am going to show you how I'm going to finish this base. So in the crevices where some of the cork doesn't go to the lip, I'm going to come in with some white glue or PVA glue. This is just school glue that I bought during back to school for $1. Works great, dries fast, and there's 50% more than usual, I guess. I don't know. And we're going to come in with some of our flocking. This is kind of a dead grass look of flock, which I kind of want with these undead models. Just kind of gives you that feeling of death and decay or whatever. So just take some glue on a brush. Make sure it's an old brush or a brush you don't care about, because if you don't wash it right away, this will destroy your brush. And then you just fill in all the crevices, the nooks, the crannies, anywhere you want on the base. And once you have that done, you can come in with a pair of tweezers and take your flocking. Now, when you are flocking a base, you want to make sure it's on something where you can put excess flock back into your container. So I'm using my tweezers here just to push around, make sure I fit it into those crevices. You don't need to use a tweezer. You can easily just pinch and throw it on as long as you have something to catch the excess flocking. But again, just going to push all this into the crevices, make sure it's packed in there hard. Knock the model a couple times up against your mat or whatever, And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to finish the base, but that's the Rotten Belle for the Resurrectionists for Malifaux. So I want to thank you guys for watching the video and your continued support, watching these videos. Like me on Facebook. You can find all the links in the video description below to my Facebook account, to my Patreon account as well if you want to show some support that way. It helps me get more models in, more paint, and more materials to show you guys some cool things that you can make on a very tight budget. But anyways, guys, that's enough from me. Hope to see you in the next video, and have yourselves a great day.